How's it going, everybody? It is Jay from Firebird Films here, along with
Zach Gibis.
So we are here to review Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. If you don't know the story, it's basically like a lot like the TV show. Ethan Hunt finds out the Syndicate is real, and he has to go after it. But he's also trying to get taken down by Alec Baldwin, Jack Ryan, basically, the Hunt for Red October. And so he has to basically find a way to figure this all out. Yeah. So what'd you think of Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation?
I thought it was really good.
I thought it was awesome. This was probably the best Mission Impossible movie.
I still think the first one's the best.
Yeah. To me, it just combined the best elements of the first movie and Ghost Protocol, which were the two best of the series, in my opinion, before this one. And I think combining those two elements along with good direction, including an amazing motorcycle chase, probably the best ever put to film.
And a lot of the stunts were...
Yeah, were actually...
they obviously weren't super realistic, but they were pretty well done.
Yeah, they were really well done, and they were practical, and you got to give a lot of props to Tom Cruise for actually hanging onto the side of a plane. Sure, he was harnessed, but still, like,
yeah,
oh,
I would never do that.
Yeah, no way. I wouldn't have the balls to do that. Even as an aspiring actor who would like to do his own stunts, I don't know if I could ever go that far. I could go on a train like he did, and maybe go on the Burj Khalifa. That, I don't even like being on the inside of a plane, so shit. But
I wouldn't want to be on the inside of the Burj Khalifa either. I'd be scared of it.
Yeah. But really, what made this movie good is the combination of everything. Really, I mean, it was a good, solid story with tons of suspense. It had that more espionage route like the first one. It had interesting characters, and it was packed with action. So I think bringing all those good elements together created the best movie of the year so far.
And it wasn't without your normal Mission Impossible twists, like basically.
Yeah, it always has those moments where you just want to go yes, and, just those moments like in those
like,
Mission Impossible movies.
It's like one of the twists. They're not super confusing, and you can understand them. So that's what I think makes a really good twist. It's no Inception. Like, it's not that hard to understand.
Yeah, but it does, it does make you think of it. It does make you think of how they put the plan together and everything, which is what I loved about the first one, too. So it really set a perfect tone this time. And I think Ghost Protocol did that, too, but I liked how this added more of what made the first movie so good into this one. And really, I like how different this is from, like, the James Bond movies. I think they've really done a good job establishing that, this is more about the team, which is another thing I love. I love the teamwork in this movie. You get Rebecca Ferguson, who was super hot, by the way, but she was also interesting, a badass, and had an integral role to the team.
Yeah, she developed the plot. She wasn't just there for eye candy.
Exactly, which she still is, but, she's more than that.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah, exactly. And then Ving Rhames as Luther's back. I mean, I'm so happy that we get to see more of him in this movie because he wasn't really in Ghost Protocol.
I know we both loved how Simon Pegg had a way more prominent role in the other movies.
Oh yeah, and Simon Pegg, he actually gets to show in this movie that he's a really good actor. I feel like, the only time I really saw him like in these big blockbuster movies, actually having to act and everything, I would say with Star Trek Into Darkness. I know there's the Cornetto trilogy, Edgar Wright work and everything, but I'm saying like, on the big Hollywood movies where you can actually see him as more as comic relief. Less as comic relief and more as an actual actor. I think this movie gave him that opportunity more than any other movie, especially Star Trek Into Darkness, which he had a great scene in that movie where he got to show his range, but it wasn't as prominent as in this movie, and I really love that. And same even with Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner had a good role in the fourth one, but in this one, they just stepped it up. I loved his involvement with a lot of these scenes. It showed that he is capable. This has been the year for Jeremy Renner. After Avengers Age of Ultron, when he was one of the best aspects of that movie, and then you bring him to this one where he definitely adds a lot to the movie, it's just, this has been his year.
Yeah, this is... Okay, so the Syndicate, we all know, is the main villain.
Yep.
And I know the Syndicate, like, it's not a bad... I know it's like a really great... It's basically the Spectre of Mission Impossible.
Yeah, basically.
But I feel like it could have had a better main
villain. Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna get to that.
I mean, it's obviously it's not going to be like your Goldfinger, but I mean, the main villain.
He wasn't bad. He was kind of like a Marvel villain, where it's like he was a serviceable villain, and he had some really good scenes actually. But he wasn't like a hard-hitting villain. Like, I still think Philip Seymour Hoffman's the best villain in the Mission Impossible series.
And he actually got down and dirty, Philip Seymour Hoffman. This guy just sent in his goons.
He kind of reminded me of the Riddler, actually.
I know, I feel like the main villain had a less prominent role than I feel he should have. That's the only complaint I really have.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's just a problem with this one, but like really all the Mission Impossible movies, because as much as I love this one and I love Ghost Protocol, they really did not have the best villains. But really, I don't really watch these movies for the villains. I watch it for the team.
The story.
The fun spectacle of the story and everything. But it would be nice to get a villain that just is relatable and is hard-hitting. Someone like, I gotta think of a good villain. I don't really want to say the Joker, but it would be cool to have a character like the Joker in a Mission Impossible movie, where it's like he's just like, he is unrelenting, and he is just a hard-hitting villain that has a lot of commentary, which I think you could do that in these kind of movies.
If I had to compare any of the villains from Mission Impossible to any other villains, I think Philip Seymour Hoffman, I could compare him a lot to the Riddler. He played a lot of mind games with Ethan Hunt, and he just messed with him throughout the whole movie. Yeah,
I would compare this to a James Bond villain like Blofeld or...
he kind of sits behind the scenes until it's really necessary.
I want to see a villain that actually gets his hands dirty in these movies. Like, I think it'd be cool to have a villain like Silva from Skyfall, or Sean Bean in GoldenEye, with Alec Trevelyan in 006. Someone like that. Or even if you've ever seen License to Kill with, what was his name? Franz something? He was played by Robert Davi. Like, that's just the kind of villain I want to see Ethan Hunt go against. I want to see him fight the main villain, like he did in Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah,
and 3. Actually.
To relate to another villain,
that would be good.
The villain from this movie is kind of like Director Pierce from Winter Soldier. Like, he runs the show basically.
Yep.
And then he's just got goons out there.
Yeah, and he did kind of have a Winter Soldier type character, minus the whole friend storyline.
He pulled a Thanos. He's like, my goons suck at trying to kill Tom Cruise, so I'm just gonna go there and do it myself.
Yeah. If you saw the Avengers Age of Ultron, spoiler warning, I guess. If you give a shit. No, but because I feel like the villain in the second movie, played by Gregory Scott, do you know he was going to play Wolverine?
Really?
Yeah, but because of Mission Impossible 2, his schedule was too tight, so Hugh Jackman got the role. But the point is, it would be cool to see another villain like that, only done right, because that villain could have been really good. It's just that the acting wasn't the best, and he didn't really have much to work with in the script, which I thought was actually pretty poor. So it'd be cool to have another villain like that actually works with the story better. I think if they do that, Mission Impossible 6 could even top this one. But
will never top the first, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, I will always love that movie. I'll always have a lot of nostalgia for it. But to me, this movie had it all. I give it an A. Yeah, I'll give it an A. F.
A minus. A minus. A minus.
I'm gonna go A plus because the villain didn't bother me really. Like, it just, I felt like he was a hard-hitting enough villain. I thought the organization was hard-hitting enough, and it worked enough for me to still
It brought it back to its roots from the TV show with the Syndicate.
Yeah, this was more like the TV show than any of the other movies. I feel like they actually drew more influence. This and the first one. I still gotta just give it an A plus because I just love this movie. This is one of the best action movies I've seen in a while. I just, it was up there with Mad Max Fury Road, where it just had tons of practical action and it was just a great spectacle. Of course, Mad Max is different, but they both captured that same awesome action. You get what I'm saying. It was a lot like in the 80s and 90s, which was by far the best time for action movies. I love that. Not a lot of CGI, one of the best motorcycle chases of all time, and some great stunts. I love this movie. So that is our review for Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and please rate, comment, and subscribe. Do all that other crap. I don't care. Either way, I can live without it. But yeah.